Hello, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, it's a pleasure to meet you. And if you are returning, it's great to see you again, and thank you for coming back. Today, I'm doing something a little different. Originally, I planned to do a soft-spoken word-for-word reading of Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system by Satoshi Nakamoto, commonly known as the Bitcoin White Paper. However, I wanted to add my own unique twist. I asked ChatGPT to rewrite the white paper as a soothing ASMR style narrative, blending the technical brilliance of the original with the calming tones we enjoy here. This is what I'll be reading to you today. Before we dive in, I want to share a few important disclaimers. First, while I find cryptocurrency an intriguing subject, I am not a cryptocurrency expert. I cannot educate on the topic or provide any advice related to investing. Second, AI generated content, while impressive, isn't perfect. I've done my best to ensure the rewritten text stays true to the original, but errors or omissions are always a possibility. This video is intended purely for entertainment and relaxation. Lastly, while the script was crafted with AI assistance, the voice you'll hear is entirely my own, soft, genuine, and here to guide you through this experience. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so by giving this video a like and also by subscribing to this channel if you've not already done so. Now, let's settle in for my soft-spoken retelling of the Bitcoin white paper, reimagined as an ASMR narrative. Abstract. Imagine a world where money flows directly from one person to another, like a gentle stream, with no need for a bank or a middleman. This is the vision of a purely peer-to-peer electronic cash system. In this world, digital signatures provide security, like a lock on a treasure chest. But there's still one lingering challenge: preventing anyone from spending the same coin twice. To solve this, we introduce a network, one that hums quietly in the background, a web of connected nodes working together in harmony. This network creates a timeline, a chain of events, each one etched into history with a cryptographic proof of work. Picture it as a string of pearls, each pearl unchangeable, unless the entire strand is restrung. The longest chain of these pearls tells the story of trust and effort, crafted by the collective power of honest participants. As long as most of the network's energy is focused on maintaining integrity, the system remains strong, like a calm, unyielding river current. Nodes, or participants, can come and go as they please, slipping into the flow effortlessly. When they return, they simply follow the longest chain, the one that holds the story of what happened while they were away. It's a simple structure, gentle, fluid, and elegant, a system built to endure. Section 1, Introduction. Let's take a moment to reflect on how we buy and sell things online. For years, internet commerce has depended on financial institutions acting as trusted third parties, quietly overseeing our transactions. While this system works well enough, it's not without its flaws. At its core, it relies on trust, a fragile thing, and this brings limitations. Transactions can't truly be irreversible because disputes require intervention. This mediation comes at a cost, making transactions more expensive and sometimes too costly for the smallest, simplest exchanges, like buying coffee online. And there's another price we pay: the cost of mistrust. Merchants worry about fraud, asking customers for more details than they'd normally share. Some fraud is simply accepted, like an inevitable storm. While in-person payments with cash avoid these worries, there's no equivalent for digital spaces. No way to exchange value directly without inviting a middleman. But imagine something different: a system not built on trust, but on cryptographic proof. Two people, anywhere in the world, could exchange value directly, securely, with no need for a trusted third party. Transactions would be protected from fraud, like treasures locked away. For buyers, simple escrow mechanisms could provide peace of mind. while sellers are safeguarded, knowing transactions can't be undone. In this vision, the problem of double spending is solved by a network, a peer-to-peer community, creating a chronological record of transactions, proof that time itself has secured. This system is as strong as its participants, as long as honest contributors control the majority of the network's computing power. It's not just an idea, it's a possibility waiting to be realized. Section 2, Transactions. Let's take a closer look at how transactions work in this new system. Imagine an electronic coin, not as something you can hold, but as a chain, a continuous link of digital signatures. Each time the coin is passed, its current owner signs it digitally, linking the previous transaction to the next, like a ribbon being tied into a seamless loop. The recipient of the coin, the payee, can look back along this chain of signatures to verify the coin's history. But here's the tricky part. The payee can't always be sure that the coin hasn't been spent somewhere else at the same time. This is what we call double spending, a problem that needs a careful solution. One way to prevent double spending is to rely on a central authority, a trusted mint. In this model, the mint checks each transaction, making sure no coin has been spent twice. After every transaction, the coin is returned to the mint, where it's reissued as a new coin. While this works, it creates another problem. The entire system would depend on the trustworthiness of the mint. Every transaction, every exchange would have to pass through this central hub, much like a bank. But what if we didn't need a central authority? What if we could solve this in a different way? For this to work, the payee needs to be sure that none of the previous owners has spent the coin elsewhere. In our system, only the earliest transaction matters. The first signature seals the deal. To confirm this, we need to know about every transaction to see the full picture. Instead of a mint, imagine transactions being announced openly and publicly. like whispers traveling across a room. Participants in the system would work together to agree on the order of these whispers, a single, unified history. At the moment of any transaction, the payee receives proof that the majority of participants all agreed it was the first time that the coin had been spent. No trust, just consensus, keeping the system honest and secure. Section 3, Timestamp Server. Let's begin this part of the journey with a simple but powerful idea: the timestamp server. Picture it as a steady, rhythmic pulse marking the passage of time and recording events as they happen. Here's how it works. The server takes a collection of items, events waiting to be documented, and creates a hash, a unique digital fingerprint for that block of data. This hash, like a gentle imprint, is then published for all to see, such as in a newspaper or an online post. What is the purpose of this? The timestamp acts as undeniable proof that the data existed at that exact moment in time. For the hash to be created, the information must have been there, like a footprint left in fresh snow. But there's more. Each new timestamp doesn't stand alone. It reaches back, wrapping itself around the previous one, forming a chain, a continuous thread. With each new link, the chain grows stronger, reinforcing everything that came before it. This elegant system ensures that the sequence of events is clear and unchangeable, a digital history set in stone, a gentle, reliable rhythm recording time one block at a time. Section 4, Proof of Work. Now, let's explore the heart of our system's strength, the proof of work. Think of it as a quiet, steady challenge, a puzzle that must be solved before a new block can take its place in the chain. Unlike publishing in newspapers or online posts, This proof of work is designed for a peer-to-peer network. It is a bit like searching for a rare gem, scanning through countless possibilities until you find one that fits just right. In this case, the gem is a hash created using SHA-256, and it needs to begin with a certain number of 0 bits. The effort required grows exponentially with each added 0 bit, like climbing a steeper and steeper hill. But once the work is done, it's easy to check, like confirming the gem you found is truly one of a kind. Here's how it works. Within each block, there's a tiny adjustable number called a nonce. The system keeps changing this nonce, trying new combinations until the block's hash meets the required pattern of 0 bits. Once this puzzle is solved, the block is locked into place, and its position in the chain becomes secure. Changing it later would mean redoing all the work, not just for that block, but for every block that follows. This proof of work also ensures fairness in decision making. Instead of one IP address equaling one vote, which could be easily manipulated, it's one CPU equaling one vote. The majority is represented by the longest chain, the one with the most effort, the most dedication invested in it. As long as honest participants control most of the CPU power, their chain grows faster, leaving attackers trailing behind. For an attacker to rewrite history, they need to redo all the work for their chain and still surpass the efforts of the honest majority. But as new blocks are added, their chances of catching up diminish exponentially, becoming almost impossible. And here's the beauty of it. The system adapts. As technology evolves and more participants join or leave, the difficulty of the puzzle adjusts. The goal is to keep the rhythm steady, ensuring blocks are created at a smooth, predictable pace. Section 5. Network. Let's take a moment to imagine how this network hums to life. A quiet, elegant system working together in harmony. First, picture new transactions fluttering across the network, gently broadcast to all the nodes. These nodes are like attentive listeners, waiting to collect these fresh transactions and organize them into tidy blocks. Each node then begins a careful process, working to solve a proof of work puzzle for its block. It's a patient effort, like piecing together a puzzle in soft candlelight. And when a node finds the solution, it sends out the completed block, announcing its success to the entire network. But there's a special rule. Only valid blocks are accepted. Every transaction within the block must be checked to ensure it's genuine and hasn't been spent before. If everything is in order, the other nodes show their approval by using that block as the foundation for the next one in the chain. The chain grows longer and stronger with each new block. The nodes agree. The longest chain is the true one, the correct history of all transactions. If two different blocks are shared at the same time, the nodes simply work on the first one they receive, but quietly keep the other branch in reserve. Eventually, a new block is added to one of these branches, making it longer, and the tie is resolved. The nodes working on the shorter branch calmly switch over to the winning chain, always gravitating towards the longest path. Even if some messages are missed, the network doesn't mind. Transactions only need to reach enough nodes to be included in a block. And if a block goes unseen by a node, it can always catch up later, requesting it when the next block arrives, ensuring the chain remains complete. It's a serene, flowing process, nodes working together in quiet consensus, weaving a tapestry of trust, one block at a time. Section 6, Incentive. Let's now uncover the secret that keeps the network alive and thriving. The incentive. Imagine this. Each new block begins with a special transaction, a gentle reward, a freshly minted coin that belongs to the creator of the block. This reward acts as a warm invitation, encouraging nodes to join the network and support its growth. It's a bit like mining for gold, but instead of pickaxes and shovels, nodes expend CPU time and electricity to add new coins into circulation. This steady flow of coins is carefully controlled, like a stream that never overflows its banks. But there's more. The incentive can also come from transaction fees. Picture this. When a transaction's input value is slightly higher than its output value, the difference becomes a small fee added to the block's reward. Over time, as more coins enter into circulation, the system can shift entirely to these fees, creating a sustainable, inflation-free economy. And here's the brilliance of it. The incentive doesn't just keep the network running, it helps keep it honest. Imagine an attacker, someone who has amassed more CPU power than all the honest nodes combined. They face a choice: defraud the system or play by the rules. If they play fair, the rules reward them generously, more coins than everyone else combined. But if they break the rules, they risk undermining the system itself and even the value of their own coins. The design gently nudges them towards honesty, showing that fairness is the most rewarding path. It's a delicate balance, an elegant mechanism, ensuring the network continues to grow securely and harmoniously. Section 7. Reclaiming disk space. Now let's talk about something fascinating: how the system reclaims its disk space, effortlessly and elegantly. Picture this. As a coin's transactions become deeply embedded, safely tucked under multiple blocks, the earlier, spent transactions are no longer needed. To free up space, the system gently discards them. But how does it do this without unraveling the intricate web of block hashes? That's where the magic of a Merkle tree comes in. Think of a Merkle tree as a branching digital structure, each transaction represented as a leaf, and the branches leading to a single root. Only the root is stored in the block's hash, allowing old branches to be trimmed away, compacting the data. Now imagine a block header, light as a feather, only 80 bytes. Even if new blocks arrive every 10 minutes, the yearly storage needed is just 4.2 megabytes. It's like storing a single high-quality song on your device. And with technology advancing, systems equipped with gigabytes of memory, this small storage requirement is no burden at all. The design embraces simplicity, ensuring the network remains efficient and sustainable year after year. Isn't it wonderful how everything flows together, effortlessly optimized for the future? Section 8, Simplified Payment Verification. Now, let's explore how payments can be verified without the complexity of running a full network node. Imagine you only need to carry a lightweight map of the blockchain, the block headers of the longest proof of work chain. Think of it as holding just the spine of a book without all the pages. Here's how it works. A user queries the network, collecting the longest chain of block headers, and obtains a Merkle branch, a small piece of proof connecting the specific transaction to the block where it was timestamped. The user doesn't need to see the entire transaction because linking it to the chain is enough to confirm that the network has accepted it. And each new block that joins the chain after it adds another reassuring layer of confirmation. It's a system designed for simplicity, but with simplicity comes some vulnerability. If an attacker gains control over the network, they could fabricate false transactions, fooling the simple method as long as their power holds. To counter this, honest nodes can send alerts, signaling when something doesn't look right. At that moment, the user's software can dive deeper, downloading the full block and flag transactions to verify the truth. For businesses handling frequent payments, running a full node ensures more independence, quicker verification, and an added layer of security. A delicate balance of lightness and resilience, keeping transactions smooth and secure. Section 9, Combining and Splitting Value. Now, let's imagine how we manage value without making things complicated. Handling coins one by one might seem simple, but when dealing with every cent in a transfer, it can quickly become unwieldy. So instead, we've designed transactions to allow value to be split and combined effortlessly. Picture this. Transactions hold multiple inputs and outputs, like building blocks that fit together to create exactly the value you need. Typically, you might have a single input from a previous larger transaction, or perhaps several smaller inputs combined. And when it comes to outputs, you'll usually see two. one for the payment, sending funds to the recipient, and the other returning any leftover change back to the sender. It's like handing someone cash and receiving your exact change in return. Here's something to keep in mind: a concept called fan out. This happens when a transaction depends on several prior ones, and those depend on even more. It might sound like a web of complexity, but don't worry. There's no need to extract or carry an entire standalone copy of a transaction's history. It's all about precision, making transactions simple, smooth, and efficient. Section 10: Privacy. In traditional banking, privacy is achieved by limiting access to information. Only the involved parties and a trusted third party, like a bank, know the details. But here, with every transaction publicly announced, we need a different approach. Now, imagine breaking the flow of information in another way by keeping public keys anonymous. It's like peering into a stock exchange. You can see that an amount is being sent from one party to another, but you can't identify who they are. It's just numbers on the screen, detached from personal identities. To add another layer of protection, each transaction uses a fresh key pair, a brand new digital signature, preventing links back to a single owner. This strategy creates a firewall, making it harder to piece together someone's transaction history. However, with multi-input transactions, where multiple sources combine into one, there's a small trace left behind. These inputs reveal they're owned by the same party. And if, just if, the owner of a key is ever identified, it might uncover connections to other transactions belonging to the same person. Privacy here isn't absolute, but it's thoughtfully balanced, preserving anonymity while maintaining transparency. Section 11: Calculations. Imagine, if you will, a quiet moment where the world around you slows down and we focus on the calm, gentle hum of the blockchain system. Picture the attacker trying to catch up with the honest chain. They're moving through the process, but their chances are slim. In this peaceful, ever-moving digital world, the honest chain steadily grows, block by block. Each edition is a little victory, a whisper of progress that moves the chain forward. The attacker, on the other hand, starts with a deficit, a gap that they hope to close. But just as in life, the odds are against them. The attacker tries to catch up, but their success is a fragile hope, like a leaf caught in a breeze, floating towards an uncertain future. We can think of the situation as a random walk. Each step either brings the honest chain closer to victory or the attacker to defeat. But as the honest chain adds more blocks, the distance between them widens. With every block added, the attacker's chance to overtake becomes smaller, more distant, like a dream slipping away. Now, picture this: the recipient of a transaction, safe in the knowledge that each added block is like a soft blanket, wrapping their transaction in layers of security. With every block added, they feel more at ease. The risk of the transaction being altered slipping away, like the soft, comforting hum of a gentle wind. And as they wait, they know that the attacker is in a race against time. If the attacker tries to catch up, the odds of success grow exponentially smaller with each passing moment. The honest chain grows longer, stronger. It's like a gentle rhythm, steady and reassuring. The recipient, ever calm, waits for the right moment, the moment when the risk has faded and the transaction is safe. The longer they wait, the stronger the chain becomes, and the attacker's chance to change the transaction becomes nearly impossible. Like a shadow fading in the night, their chances vanish as the blocks pile up, one by one, creating an unbreakable chain. So, in this quiet digital world, with each block added, the network grows more secure. The attacker's hope dims, and the recipient's confidence grows. The peaceful flow of the system, steady and unyielding, ensures that the truth remains intact. Section 12, Conclusion. Imagine, as we settle into this peaceful moment, a world where transactions happen without relying on trust, a world built on solid, reliable technology. We start with something familiar, the gentle assurance of digital signatures, a way to control ownership, but something still feels incomplete, like a puzzle missing its last piece. This missing piece is a way to prevent double spending. To solve this, we introduce a network, quiet and efficient, a peer-to-peer network where each node works silently, using proof of work to create a secure public history of transactions. It's a history that's incredibly hard to alter, a wall that grows higher and higher, making it nearly impossible for anyone to change the past. The beauty of this network is in its simplicity. It is unstructured, yet strong. Nodes work in unison with little coordination, creating a calm, seamless flow. There's no need for identification, no need to route messages to a specific place. The network simply delivers messages, offering its best effort to make sure everything is in place. Nodes are free to leave, free to return, and when they do, they accept the proof of work chain, a gentle record of what happened while they were away. It's like a calm return to a place where everything remains in order, a quiet place of trust. With their CPU power, nodes vote. They express their acceptance of valid blocks, quietly extending them, strengthening the chain. They reject invalid blocks, not by force, but by choosing not to work on them. It's a peaceful yet firm decision. The consensus mechanism, simple yet powerful, ensures that all the rules and incentives are respected. It is a system that runs without chaos, a system that works as it should, maintaining harmony and trust without relying on anyone to be the ultimate authority. In this quiet world, everything flows with purpose and certainty, built on the strength of honest nodes and the elegant power of proof of work. This concludes the reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helped you relax. Once again, if you would like to support this channel, you can do so by giving this video a like, by subscribing to the channel if you've not already done so, and also by turning notifications on so you'll know when I post new content. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you next time.